Dear Victoria Vogue, I'm curious to know which word you think is the most offensive. People these days use derogatory words very openly, and while they don't upset me particularly, they still seem to upset an awful lot of people. What are your thoughts? Yours sincerely, Richard. Well, it goes without saying that for me to answer this question properly, I'm going to have to use coarse language. A lot of coarse language. So, if coarse language offends anyone watching, please click away now. Okay, let's carry on. When I was a student at university, my studies primarily concerned language. My major was a Bachelor of Creative Writing, and I took minor subjects in French language and English literature, so I've got a lot of language behind me. Language is my passion, language is my love. If I could build a career out of language, I would be a very happy drag queen indeed. When it comes to the idea of offensive language, I've developed a little philosophy, which is not uniquely my own, I freely admit, because let's face it, there's no such thing as a new idea anymore. But because it's taken me so long to arrive at this philosophical destination, I'm going to go ahead and say that from now on, anyone who agrees with what I'm about to say is required to send me a check. Made out to cash. Here's the thing. Words are only offensive if you want them to be offensive. I'm going to start out with one that is most relevant to me, and that is the word faggot. Faggot is very widely considered to be an offensive word, especially when used to describe a person, especially when used to describe a homosexual person. You know, a faggot. Why? Seriously, what is it about the word that makes it offensive? Nothing. It's just a word. 6 letters. Well, 5 letters. 6 in length. The word itself is not offensive, just like the word chocolate is not offensive. If you take it offensively, it's your own lookout. Personally, I'm not offended when someone calls me a faggot, whether it's a friend of mine or someone yelling it out a car window. The reason I'm not offended is because the word can't hurt me. It's just a word. The word can't hurt me, the word can't kill me, the word can't raise the price of cigarettes by 50% overnight. There is no threat. Now, if someone were to point a gun at me, I would be offended. If they pointed a gun at me and called me faggot at the same time, I would be more offended by the gun than the word. If the word could do what the gun could do, then I'd be worried about it. This is my whole philosophy on offensive language in a nutshell. The word is offensive if you choose for it to be offensive to you personally. Now, I freely admit there are certain words that I would not use in all social situations because they would be construed as being in poor taste. However, it would do us well to have a look at the history of some of those words. Just to drive the point home that people make words offensive. Words are not inherently so. To that end, a video on offensive language would not be worth its weight in celluloid if it did not touch on the big one. You know the one I mean. The really offensive one. The C word. The word that gets books banned. That's right. I'm talking about the word cunt. This one to me is most puzzling of all. So what I'm going to do is give you a little bit of history. Now, scholars are uncertain of the exact origin of the word cunt, and chances are they will never be able to pinpoint it exactly. However, most scholars are able to agree that the word cunt is Germanic in origin. And in Middle English, which is the version of the English language we spoke before the version we speak today, it was spelt a number of different ways, but all the different spellings meant the same thing. Back then, it wasn't an offensive word at all, in the same way that the word vagina is not offensive today. Back then you wouldn't use it as an insult because it wouldn't work. People would probably get confused, like if you tried this today.
You are such a fallopian tube.
Somewhere along the line, the word became derogatory. Now here's what I'd like to know. Who sat down and decided that this was the big one? Whose decision was it to make the word cunt the most offensive word you could use to describe a person or thing?
Well, when I was working for the dictionary and they asked me to select the most offensive word in the English language, 2 things immediately sprang to my mind. Cunt and fallopian tube. I decided that it really should be cunt because it's an easier word to say and it's got a little more punch.
A common argument against the use of the word is that the most offensive word in the English language should not refer to a part of the female anatomy. Well, to those people I say, who says it's the worst? The offensiveness of the word is perpetuated by the same people who take offence to it in the first place. Stop taking offence to it and it will no longer be the baddest of the bunch. Simple. Don't you wish you'd thought of that yourself? Honestly, you can be a feminist and use the word cunt. Germaine Greer uses the word cunt. She likes it. She refers to the word as being precious, and nobody argues with Germaine Greer. So Richard, in answer to your question, I don't think that any word is more offensive than the other. They're just words. But thanks for writing. Now, if anyone has been offended by this video, I would like to remind you what was very clearly stated at the beginning of the video. If coarse language offends anyone watching, please click away now. What I'm trying to say is that if you have been offended by this video, it's your own fucking fault, bitch. I am probably going to lose a few subscribers for this one, but you know what? I'm not overly concerned. If you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen. So until next week, my name is Victoria Vogue. You've been watching Ask a Drag Queen. Keep calm and carry on. And remember, if you don't like this video, comment on this video, share this video with your Facebook friends, and add this video to your favourites, that makes you a massive cunt. Well, it goes without saying that in order for me to answer this question properly, oh, for fuck's sake.
The most offensive word in the English language. Two things immediately sprang to my mind. Fucking hell. Email. Damn.